I'd like to welcome Kevin Daniels to Sidewalks Entertainment. Hi, Kevin. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, Lori. Thank you for having me.
So, you've been in so many fan favorite shows through the years. When you look back at the beginning of your career, how did you get your start as a professional actor?
I gotta say, I honestly owe all of my first job, my first professional job was to play in Lincoln Center. It was on Broadway, and it starred Helen Hunt, Kira Sedgwick, Paul Rudd, Philip Boscow, and we had such an amazing time. And I was sitting in the green room, and Helen Hunt was shooting "Mad About You." And I remember asking her, I was like, Helen, I sure would love to come see a TV set. I ain't never seen one of those before. I just got out of school. And she's like, I'm sure you would, Kevin. And the next day I get a call, and it was one of the executive producers, and they had invited the entire supporting cast. We were like the entire ensemble to be guest stars on Mad About You. And that's how I got my SAG card. That's how I got in the union. And that was my first job. And I'll always credit Helen for that. She was so sweet and like kind, and that's how it all started for me.
That is an amazing start. Wow.
Yeah,
What an
yeah.
amazing story.
She was so cool. Like literally, she gave me like it was like I had like maybe two lines. I was a construction worker number three, and at the time it was like $2,000, which is more than I'd ever been paid for anything. And she's like, Kevin, I want you to join the union. You've got to join SAG. And I was like, yeah, 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 sure, 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 sure. Of course, I didn't do it, and then, and then it aired again, and then I got the same amount of money, and I was like, well, I gotta do it now. She's like, have you joined? Have you joined? I was like, yes, ma'am, and I joined SAG, and at the time, it was well, yeah. At the time, it was just Screen Actors Guild because AFTRA was separate and Equity was different. But now it's SAG-AFTRA, and like here it is. All these years later.
Yeah, and then years later, that later led to one of your favorite famous characters. Fans will remember your character Longinus in the series
Yes,
Modern
Longinus.
Family.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So, what did you enjoy most about working on that series and playing that character?
I gotta say the people were so fantastic. I mean, like Chris and Steven, who created the show, I had actually auditioned for. They brought me in for four or five different roles before, and for whatever reason, they never really worked out. After the last one that I read for was Pepper, which Nathan Lane ended up getting, and I was like, well, of course, there's me and Nathan Lane. I go Nathan Lane too. But they were like, Kevin, we are going to write something for you, and I was like, well, that's very sweet. Thank you so much. I'm sure you will. As I'm dejectedly walking out the door, and I get a phone call, and they're like, "Hey, we've written this role. It's called Longinus. Can you come in and do it?" And I got to work with Ty Burrell. It's my first scene with the spray bottle, and I was like, "Oh wow, they actually did it!" And then I got to. I think I I think starting in season two, and I all the way to the very end of the show. It was really great that they had me like 2 3 episodes a season, and it was really fun. And I love those guys. I'm actually working with Chris now on the reboot of Frasier. He's one of the writers on that, so it's like it all kind of full circles.
That is awesome. Awesome. So, you are the lead characters, Taylor Pherry
Yeah.
and Madude Hims, and I can't with the names.
I just
They got me cracking
even the
up. I
names of
can't.
them. I know. It's such a great parody in that.
Yes. So the film, Not Another Church Movie. Tell me about your characters, Taylor and Madude, and what was your experience like working on this movie and playing these characters?
I had so much fun. Like I was like a kid in a candy store. I was like, so wait, you mean we get to like just do a big parody and a spoof of some of the biggest,
Yes.
biggest movies in Black culture? Yeah, I'm
Oh,
down
that's so awesome.
100%. They got me like I have this incredible hair and makeup team, and Taka would like she'd do my wigs, and like she brought in like 6 or 7 different wigs for me to wear, and it was like I have a Queen Latifah wig, I've got a Beyonce wig, I've got like Madhu goes to jail wig, I've got a uh Diary of a Mad Black
Madude.
Woman. It was so many things. I'm just trying to like keep them in order. And Johnny Mack, who's our director, he would let us improv. So we just found ways to like just keep each other laughing. And because we'd all seen the movies, you all know the movies. It's like so trying to like referencing it was really fun, and then referencing it explicitly was even more fun. Lamorne Morris was hilarious. Like I had a blast working with everybody on the movie.
So, what was it like working with Johnny Mack as the director?
Johnny was really cool, man, because he knows funny, and he knows like how he wanted the jokes to come across, and he would sit there and like and he would just like he would collaborate with all of us while we try to figure out how do we make this, you know, with the technical limitations we've got, or like whatever the schedule is we've got, how do we get this best joke? And he just like whatever was funny, he let it fly. Funny flew, and I was like, I love that. It's really cool. I can't wait to work with him again.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I have been looking forward to this film for some time now. So I am
Oh,
so
awesome,
thrilled to
awesome.
be able to speak with you today. So, one last question before we wrap. For anyone who has not seen the film yet, what would you say the audience is in for?
Oh man, you know what? I try to describe it as like a series of like SNL sketches that are kind of weaved together. Like you know, there's a loose overall like story point. Man writes a movie because God told him to, and then you have to meet all of the movies that we all know that ends up being
Yeah.
this. Yeah, but it's a lot of fun. It's not Ben Hur. It's not Citizen Kane. It's just a movie where we want you to laugh, have a good time, bring your family, and come enjoy. I really hope
Mhm.
everybody takes your family out to go see it.
Kevin, you are so fantastic. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Everyone, be sure to watch Kevin in the film Not Another Church Movie. Kevin, you take care.
You too. Bye.